This is Vocation Sunday, a day set aside to emphasize the importance of a religious calling. Fresh, eager young faces, these are the women of tomorrow. Yet how many, yes, how many will live out their true destiny? Only a few, perhaps. They'll graduate before the month is over, then to high school, college, marriage, or career. Who among this group will be God's career women? The service begins. The pastor leads the rosary, a child's favorite way of talking to God and his Blessed Mother. Wonderful youth, so important in one's life and so short-lived. Mediatrix of all graces, eternal queen of hope, of peace. How does one know one has you? Your teacher in school, priest in the pulpit, your parents? Order tell you in such simple language as follow me. Come, follow me. Words of invitation spoken in a whisper as he offers his heart to you. Spoken only with love, never a command. Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. Even at the tender age of 13 or 14, life suddenly becomes decision. The majority of religious vocations are known to children before they leave the elementary grades. The pastor goes now to the pulpit. He walks slowly. He has told his story many times. But why are there always so few to respond when there should be so many? Shall I be a nun? That whisper that speaks to you, come, follow me. Did you ever pause a moment in your life and ask that question? Shall I be? What is a nun, he asks. And then he tells them in simple words the beautiful story of the hidden life. What is a nun? Your teacher in school. You know her by a religious name. Once upon a time, though, she was a girl of your age, wore the same clothes and enjoyed the same fun. She was merry she had before her. What matter a career on the stage or the movie screen when you can hold a young girl's destiny in the palm of your hand? Hot weather, cold weather, early morning rising, long hours of service, of prayer. A nun doesn't rate her life on earth by months or by seasons of the year. Life to her means living every moment in the pursuit of her God, in the shadow of his passion. You'll always find her at dawn, praying in her tiny convent chapel for mother and father and sisters and brothers, relatives and friends in distant places as well as those nearby. For those she prays and prays and prays. Every day she shares with nuns all over the world the great privilege of hearing Mass. With the purity of an angel, she approaches Christ's altar each day to receive her bridegroom into her undefiled heart. Sometimes she sees her God in a very tired old man, forgotten, unloved, unwanted. And with heroic patience, she nurses him through the long days and lonely nights. Sometimes she sees Christ's own mother in the wrinkled, fear-haunted face of an old woman. Gently, with sympathetic love, she erases the scars of loneliness. Her very presence brings peace to a tired mind. Many souls come into a more intimate knowledge of God and his saints through mission orders doing work on home fields. Not all nuns teach, nurse, or follow the contemplative rule. Some, like this group, open their convent doors to lay women who come to meditate and pray. Week after week, they welcome the working girls, the high school senior, the college co-ed, the businesswoman, the housewife, and the widow, who come for a brief spiritual respite behind convent walls. Here the old find truth and the young direction. Round-table discussions stimulate the Catholic mind. Pity the woman or child who does not have the close friendship of a nun. The problems of life all reach some solution at this table. Girls doing piecework in factories keep an accurate check of their day's labors. The more they do, the more they earn. A nun doesn't offer her life for a paycheck, however. A nun doesn't count the steps she takes for others. Her errands of mercy are not registered by a time clock. To labor is to pray, whether it be in the laboratory or chapel, in the kitchen or operating room, in the orphanage or classroom. The nursing sister, garbed in white, with the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience written in her heart, follows in the footsteps of hundreds of other generous souls in making of herself a living monument of Christ-like charity. Those who deal in insurance consider it a day well spent when a client signs a life policy. That signature means a sizable commission. Consider then the nun who gives up all home ties, the nun who uproots herself from everything familiar to seek a strange land and strange people. Asia, Africa, the Orient, sweltering jungles, the frozen Arctic. You'll find this handmaiden of the Lord not seeking prospective clients for a fee, but ransoming souls for her beloved Christ. Follow me, he said to her, and she follows him even to the ends of the earth. Missionary sisters, teaching nuns, the white-robed angels of the sick room, the contemplative nun in her cloistered chapel. In this quiet and awesome sanctuary, the roar of the world finds no echo. Here the very air is the breath of prayer. Day and night, these sinless women pray for sinners who never bother to pray for themselves. Here days grow into years, fingers grow stiff, and eyes dim. Yet their song of love continues, always reaching new heights of heavenly ecstasy. Eagerly watching the faces of his young charges, the pastor wonders if he'll find some reaction to his words. Is it here among these youngsters? Can you find the child of deep spirituality? Is it this one? Is she the one, the only one? Well, her name is Margaret. She's an 8th grade student, the oldest in a family of 3. She's unspoiled, in spite of the fact that her parents are very modern in their thinking and not too religiously inclined. Let's follow Margaret home and see what happens. Wouldn't you like to follow each child home, meet the parents, get a glimpse of the girl's family life? Will Margaret have the courage to tell her parents the thought that's in her heart? She fears their objection. She knows how much Dad is taken up with making money. She knows the social life that Mother has planned for her. Margaret's father is a promising young executive. Her mother carries the burdens of a hectic social life. Their children are well provided for, good schools and nice clothes. Mother only half listens to what Margaret has to say. After all, it's just a childish impulse, something she heard today and will forget tomorrow. Dad is, well, shall we say, annoyed at the trend of conversation. The child is hurt, confused at the attitude of her parents. But really, they are not to blame, for often the first reaction of parents is objection. Like many others, they're caught on that treadmill of earning dollars and spending them just as fast to cover food and clothing and taxes. Neither parent will forget this brief moment. They think of it often when Margaret's in high school. Yes, she's now a campus leader. Every spring she's chosen for the Maypole fete. When vacation time comes, the family takes exciting trips, going places and seeing things, all part of the great adventure of growing up. Margaret meets new friends. Surely she's forgotten now. Or has she? Now she's old enough to have dates. Maybe a nice boy will come along and she'll change her mind. And soon it's time for college and the moment of decision. Dad tells Margaret to take her pick. Take her pick. Is this the moment, Mary? Dad says nothing is too good for his older daughter. Is it time to speak now, Mary? Margaret has shared her secret with Our Lady since that Sunday in May back in the old parish church. Her parents must see things her way. Will they accept her vocation as something beautiful and God-ordained? Why can't she do her college work behind convent walls? But how will Margaret make them understand that wearing a nun's veil she'll be even closer to them than a child who stays out in the world? They will understand, won't they, Mary? And they did understand. When Margaret's parents made the happy decision to let her go, it was as simple as parting a stage curtain to step from home to the threshold of the cloister. They'll never forget this day. Relatives and close friends are always welcome on the day of entrance. This is the kiss of welcome. Welcome to a new family, a new life, to a deep and lasting friendship with Christ and his Blessed Mother. Margaret goes to be clothed. This is the moment she's waited for. This is her dream come true. There'll be many happy moments like this, and there'll be sad and disappointing hours. Days of penance, years of sacrifice lie before this young girl taking such an important step. Now look at our little postulant. Already she looks grown up in her simple black dress and hint of a veil. To little brother, she looks like sister in school. Sure enough, even her sleeves are like teachers. Well, what do you know? Evening bell, and Margaret retires to the peaceful atmosphere of a nun's dormitory. Here, everything is done in silence. Silence is character. Silence is rooting out little faults. Silence is the first touchstone of community life. Each girl has her little cell, a bed and chest surrounded by a white curtain for privacy. The morning call to prayer. Margaret will learn to live by this bell, breaking the silence for another day in God's service. Some people entertain strange ideas about the cloister. They think it as drab as the catacombs. Now, while the nuns do wear simple black clothing, their surroundings are cheerful. Note the colorful towels along the racks, the fresh paint on the walls. Time for Mass, and the young women begin to file into chapel. Every morning from this day forward, Margaret will join nuns in all of the convents of the world to begin her day with her God. Every morning from now on, it will be her great privilege to approach Christ's altar and receive her God into her heart. What great favors God showers down upon those he chooses. The postulant is carefully instructed in the meaning of her new life. Hers is to be a life of prayer, to converse with God, to praise him for his goodness, to thank him for his blessings, to ask him for his help, to beg him for mercy. Hers is to be a life of sacrifice, the giving up of worldly pleasures as a means of proving her love of Christ. Hers is to be a life of constant imitation of Christ in the perfection of all virtues. The postulant must also be trained in the skills and techniques she will need in her teaching, nursing, or counseling. Margaret continues her education in her fully accredited convent college. Library assignments train her in educational research. Education and liberal arts courses expand her fund of knowledge. The domestic arts are not neglected. Habits of neatness and cleanliness are stressed. Immaculate aprons and carefully laundered linens testify to the precision with which each task is performed. Margaret checks each tray. Gradually, she's becoming an efficient, professional woman. One of the rules of religious life is that a sister may never be too busy to take time out for recreation. Time for play and relaxation is a must in everyday schedule. Tension must be released, and what release the fun of square dancing provides. Have you ever seen a group of livelier young girls? This healthy young American even dances for the love of God. There is no frustration in this group, no bitterness, no jealousy, no enmity. Special recreation days come on feasts and national holidays. These postulants didn't have to go to the beach for the 4th. Right in their own convent gardens, they're having fun and plenty of it. Food and games. There's everything here that you need for a lively picnic, including gay and talkative young women. Watch what happens to the soda pop. That one likes cream soda. It's a Coke this time. Say, watch the straws there, young lady. The official fire maker gets ready for the barbecue. There's a lot of fun behind convent walls. Fresh air and good, healthy living sharpens young appetites. Before Margaret goes to the novitiate, she has special days of retreat. During this time of prayer, silence, and thought, she quietly prepares for the next step of her holy vocation. She considers again what it demands of her, and she prays for help. The presence of the bishop indicates the importance surrounding the clothing ceremony. It is at this time that the postulant receives her name in religion. It is at this time that she receives her religious habit directly from the officiating prelate. Parents watch every movement of their daughters, deeply touched at the wonders they're witnessing. Now the prince of the church asks their daughters if they are certain they want to take up the life they have studied and examined. There is an eager response. We are resolved, they say, to persevere in following Christ and to live up to the holy rule of this congregation. The bishop blesses the habit, which is the symbol of their rejection of worldly fashions. In a few moments now, they'll take on the garment of saints. As each postulant receives the habit, the bishop prays over her. Protect this handmaiden of the Lord from the snares of the world and from all earthly desires. Defend her that she may devoutly persevere in her holy purpose, that she may arrive someday in the company of thy chosen saints. A look of grateful fulfillment glows in each young face. Veni, sponsa Christi. Come, spouse of Christ. Sonny prays hard that Margaret will make a good sister. Sissy is eager to see Big Sister in her white veil. Mother's thoughts go back to Margaret's babyhood. Dad's prayers are intermingled with a father's pride. And now the new novices come to us, wearing for the first time the only gown you need envy them. You think it strange? They find it beautiful. You think it heavy? They walk lightly in it. To them it is a sign of their betrothal to the Christ they love. They go now to the term of novitiate. For a year they'll lead a secluded life, devoted to the study of the rule they will follow and the vows they will make. In the novitiate, the time is taken up largely with matters religious in nature. The novice studies the ceremonies of the liturgy. She learns to chant the office. She helps with altar and sanctuary work. She embellishes vestments used in divine worship. Even in the atmosphere of the novitiate, it becomes necessary to clean. Wearing their work aprons, the novices chase dust and dirt with mop and brush. They don't overlook any corners. Get all the dust off that pedestal, Novice Mary Ellen. There, that's really clean now. Long ago, in the golden age of pursuit of learning, men refreshed their minds as well as their bodies at mealtime. Religious communities follow this age-old practice. A reader provides spiritual morsels of thought while the sisters satisfy bodily needs. They eat 5 times a day: breakfast, mid-morning brunch, luncheon, mid-afternoon snack, and dinner. And a busy nun needs her full daily supply of calories. Packages from home are opened with the joy of childhood. Moments such as this remind the sister to be of the vow of poverty she will soon make. Before she can enjoy this candy, she must seek permission from her superior to keep the gift. This is part of her training to become a selfless person. The vow of poverty will deprive her of all personal ownership. Religious share all things in their community life. And a thing shared becomes doubly precious, for sharing adds to the joys of a holy vocation. Parents are not forgotten in this year of retirement. They're even dearer during these short months in which the young novice is completely separated from the world. Always mentioned first in prayer, they seem even closer in difficulty. Margaret invites Mother and Dad to that wonderful day of profession of first vows. And what bride could look more certainly into her future happiness? And here are the parents, eagerly waiting to see the daughter they've missed for a year. Little brother and sister have grown a wee bit, Dad showing a sprinkling of gray. Watching their happy entrance, parents forget the long months of the year gone by. Their daughters look sweeter than ever before. As a sign of their desire to put themselves completely in God's hands, giving themselves to Christ as a total sacrifice, the novices prostrate themselves before the altar. This is the first part of the vow ceremony. The bishop blesses them, asking God to accept them for his service, to make fruitful their work that they will do for souls. Strengthen these thy handmaidens in the purpose of holy religion, chants the bishop. The most solemn moment of Margaret's life has come. With the sign of the cross, she begins to make the vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience. This is her way of saying, I do, to her beloved Christ. While the novice receives her black veil, symbol of her consecrated service, the bishop prays, receive this veil, O handmaiden of the Lord, and from now on wear it, that all may know you are forever espoused to Jesus Christ. May he defend you from all evil and lead you to eternal life. And at last, after years of study and training, these young women are entitled to the name sister. To little children, to young men and women, to old men and women, they will be simply sister. They could have achieved fame in a worldly career. They might have chosen marriage. They might have mothered a family. But instead, they chose to mother the world by joyously following that inner voice that spoke to them, come, follow me. They carry the light of the Lord, that illumined by this light and enkindled by the fire of his sweet love, they may merit a place in his temple of glory. They go forth to join the ranks of thousands of sisters all over the world, banded together in many orders, speaking in many tongues, doing his work in many ways. Noble women whose lives are hidden with Christ in God. Their canticle of praise joins the songs of convents all over the world, rising to a rhapsody of love before the throne of God. The sacred veil, the symbol of consecration and humility. The white wimple, the mark of sanctity. The heavy habit, the sweet garment of penance. The cincture, the belt of chastity. The rosary, the rope ladder to heaven. Thus clothed, these sisters truly belong to the distinguished ranks of God's career women.